And we're joined by Sally Mitchell, mortgage advisor from the Mortgage Mums. Hi, Sally.
Hi there.
So what are you seeing with your clients at the moment? What are they saying most often to you?
A lot of them are scared, to be honest, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
They're seeing, rates increasing all the time. The cost of living is spiraling. We haven't lived through the winter of discontent yet. And they're worried. They're really worried that they won't be able to find a mortgage product, or the one that they have, they won't be able to necessarily afford so easily.
From an advisor's perspective, what can people do to plan ahead, either if they're first-time buyers or if they're remortgaging?
It's so important to plan ahead. I mean, if you're remortgaging, you need to be talking to your broker at least 6 months before your rate ends. And then together you can make a really good plan to see what's going to be around and also what your circumstances are going to be for the next 2, 5, 7 years so that you can choose the right product.
Where should people start when they're looking for a mortgage? Where's the right place to begin?
With a broker. But you knew I was going to say that.
Yes.
I think you really need somebody who's going to hold your hand and help you through the maze. It can be quite a difficult navigation, and who's on your side. And the best way to find someone like that is really through talking to friends and getting a recommendation.
Will lenders, do you think, become more risk adverse? In other words, is it going to get harder and harder to get a mortgage at all?
Yes, I think it will. We're already seeing quite a lot of affordability algorithms in the background with lenders, meaning that people who on paper can afford the mortgage, actually by the time they've gone through their computer system, they are being rejected. And that's really tough.
Right. Let's go to our callers. We've got Peter on the line in Grimsby. Hi, Peter. Good afternoon.
Hello, Vanessa.
Hello. What's the story with you? I know you're paying quite a lot extra already.
Well, it's going up by £20 a month. Now the rates have increased. It's not a large sum at the moment. But I wondered, what actually happens with £20? Where does it go?
Where does it go? It goes to the bank.
And what does the bank do with it?
What do they do with it? Well, I think as Felicity explained, they are buying money essentially from other lenders, bigger lenders, and they then lend that money and it costs them more to borrow it in the first place. So it goes into their costs. So
Peter's paying an extra £20 a month now. What's likely to happen as the months unfold?
Well, I imagine it will probably go up. Are you, Peter, are you on a variable rate?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you thought about fixing?
Yes, I'm going to try and do something today, get the ball rolling.
Are you? Yeah. Do you know, I think that's so important. The most important thing, and we see it with a lot of clients, is that they suddenly find themselves in these situations and it's quite scary and frustrating. But it does need tackling. And the quicker you can sort of grasp the nettle, the easier it becomes. Do you have a broker that you can speak to?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, as soon as you get off the radio, Peter, you get on with it.
Yes, get on with it.
Thanks very much for ringing. Let's talk to Vicky, who's in Devon. Hello, Vicky. What's going on with you? You've got 3 mortgages, it says here.
Yeah, that sounds complicated.
It does.
It's not.
Vicky.
It's just kind of, we ported one when we moved and then got another one to top up the cost and then got another one to replace a roof. So that's what we're left with.
Yeah.
Are they all on different rates, Vicky?
Yeah, one is on 1.99.
Yeah.
2 of them are on 1.49.
Right.
So the one at 1.99 is due to expire on the 30th of November, but I can do it now. I've had the letter to say I can renew it now.
Okay.
The other 2 are expected to expire on the 28th of February, so right in the middle of when all this is happening. Now, the rates I could find last night, as the first sort of look, fixed rates were about 3.49.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's already quite a jump. You're probably looking at about an extra 50 just on that one.
Yeah.
And then we've got that happening again in February at the same time as all the electricity.
Yes, and you don't know what those rates are going to be. in February.
Well, no, not in February.
No, it's so difficult.
And may I just interrupt to ask, is there any chance at all of amalgamating all three mortgages to make just one that has just one rate, just to make life less complicated and maybe more fixed, or does that never happen?
No, that does happen. You can remortgage. The different accounts that Vicky has are sub-accounts, all under the same main mortgage account, but they're done separately, three separate ones. So there's three separate occasions that she borrowed money, but they can be remortgaged to another lender. So that would be my first idea, is to look at what is out on the broader market for you. The only drawback with remortgaging before a product has finished is that there are often early repayment charges to pay.
£470 up front.
Right.
So, and that won't disappear until, I think he said the 1st of October is when the later ones can be renewed without that. But that's kind of after the next interest rate. And I'm just confused with it all.
Yeah.
I'm just confused. I don't know what to do with each of them, whether to carry them on individually or also sort of, do we fix for 3 years, 5 years? You know, what's the outlook?
It's a bit of a minefield, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's difficult to negotiate, I have to say. The good news with the fixes at the moment, the difference in terms, is that there used to be quite a big difference in rates between, let's say, 2 or 5 year fixes. Mm-hmm. With the increase in rates, that gap has narrowed. And there is less advantage, if you like, to choosing one over the other. So that's the only little bit of good news, to be honest, because it just means that you can pick the rate or the time that you want that suits you best without being penalised unjustly.
Listen, I wish you luck with it, Vicky, but it sounds as if a good idea would be to ask a new broker to see what you could do in terms of amalgamating all three to make it much simpler, one fixed rate that you can at least rely on, and then you can work out how to balance your own books and your own budget. I wish you lots of luck with it. Let me just read you this, Sally, if you don't mind. It's from Emily, who says, our mortgage is up for renewal next September. We've been on a 5-year fixed rate. We don't know whether to remortgage now a year early and pay the early penalty fee, which is £2,500, which is a lot, isn't it? Yeah. Or we could wait until next September when our mortgage ends. I'm also being made, oh my dear, redundant at the end of September, and I then plan to work freelance.
Oh golly. Oh, okay. That's a lot to unpack.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Emily. That does sound like quite a lot coming at you all at once. First of all, if it's fairly simple calculation for a broker to work out whether you would be better off paying the early repayment charge and swapping to a new rate or sticking with the lender that you have. That is relatively straightforward to do. If you're looking to remortgage, knowing that you're going to be made redundant and changing your employment details, that is a whole different kettle of fish, because it will affect how a lender views you and your income, and therefore your affordability and your ability to actually borrow from them. So any change in employment is not great when you're looking to sway a lender to lend to you.
Sally, in conclusion, could I ask you, Felicity ended what she said by saying, and the good news, if there is any good news, is this isn't likely to be a long time situation. It may happen and then it may kind of reverse itself reasonably speedily. Is that the way you're seeing that?
Yes, I do agree. I mean, all these things are cyclical. It's not easy to hear that when you're stuck in the middle of it, but nothing ever lasts forever. I think it is in the government's and the Bank of England's interest, thank you, to keep that inflation down, and therefore you have to raise the interest rates, and it won't last forever. We've been here before. Yes. We've been much, much worse. I do remember it. We've just got to hold on, plan, think ahead, and do the very best we can.
Sally Mitchell, thanks very much.